Hello students, in an intuitive fashion, I will try to explain today within a few minutes why does a car taking a turn on a level road tends to topple in a direction which is opposite to the direction of the turn. In most of the situations you must have heard that if a car basically is moving in a straight line and starts to turn to the left, so it will try to attempt to topple in a rightward direction. Okay, so the toppling will be like this. If it's rotating like this, the toppling will be like this. If it's rotating to the right, the toppling will be towards the left. Right, and most of the explanation that you must have come across will be in terms of the normal forces being redistributed. That is, if it is taking left turn, the normal force on the right will be basically more than the normal force on the left, and eventually the left normal force will be 0, and that is the position when the loss of contact with the road will happen, thus tending for the turn or the overturn. That's not why it happens. Well, that happens, but not why it happens. Okay, imagine the car is moving straight ahead on the level road. The total weight of the car, which is mg, will be divided by 2, mg by 2, mg by 2, on both the sides as two normal forces on left and right. Correct. Only if the car tends to take a turn on a level road, then of course, as a consequence of what really happens, the normal force on the right will tend to increase and the normal force on the left will tend to decrease and eventually becomes 0. That's when the toppling happens. What's the reason? What's the cause? The cause is very simple. Imagine this is a block, right, and I'm holding it uh, and it is free to rotate about the axis passing through its center of gravity. Okay, now imagine what happens if I give it a force. If I give it a force like this, okay, then definitely it's the force applied here has a torque which basically tries to topple it. Yes, so that's exactly what happens when a car takes a left turn. Definitely, to take a left turn, basically it will be moving through a circular motion with a centripetal force towards the left. And where does the centripetal force come from? It comes from the friction. And that's not the rolling friction which actually makes the car move forward or backward. It's the sliding friction. So the moment when the car tries to take a turn, it will tend to slip radially outward. And to prevent the slip radially outward, a radially inward friction will happen like this. And this friction will try to topple it. It's very simple and intuitive. And as the consequence of this friction, as you keep on increasing your velocity or the speed while taking the turn, the friction required by the laws of circular motion will make sure that the friction is more and more until it reaches the maximum value, right? And as the friction keeps on increasing and increasing, what will happen? Because the friction is increasing more and will try to give a particular, like for me it is like a circular torque or a clockwise torque. The left normal force is also giving a circular, giving a clockwise torque, and the sum of the clockwise torque has to be the same as the sum of the anti-clockwise torque, so that the car would not topple. But as the friction keeps on increasing and increasing, the anti-clockwise torque here would try to increase and increase. Of course, to not make the car topple, the normal force will go down, and most of basically as basically what happens, the friction tilts the car. The moment the friction here, it tends to tilt the car to the right as long as the friction is to the left. So more and more of the load of the car is being balanced by the right hand side wheel contacts, right? So that's why the right hand side normal force gets redistributed to be more than the left hand side normal force. But what actually causes all of these? It's simple friction, and that's the sliding friction, not the rolling friction. I hope now you understand.